Hey everybody, welcome to the Geekdom. Today I'm going to do an episode review for Game of Thrones. First, I want to say I do compare the show to the book, so you've been warned. Second, I want to say that this show was really enjoyable in a sense where we get a lot of action and it's not so much intrigue where we have to sit and listen for context clues and um, foreshadowing and all that stuff. We can kind of just relax and enjoy the show. And third, I want to say that I wrote my notes by character and I should have done them in chronological order. Um, so I might be a little off and it might not be in chronological order, even though I'm going to try to go for that. And so I'm not doing my typical character by character. I'm going to be skipping around. So you've watched the show, you'll know where I'm at. You might notice that I'm a little bit ahead, I'm a little bit behind, whatever. Let's get started. Um, we start off with Davos, and I definitely feel like I've said before, Davos is to Stannis what Ned was to Robert, and their fierce loyalty is just undeniable. Um, and I feel like they're just trying to rub him off on you. And before he was just there for important key information, the last couple episodes they've been trying to get you to like him as an individual and as his own character. So we're getting that's what I'm feeling we're getting from Davos, and I think it's just, a little too late to be trying to do that, especially since something happens at the end here for Davos. Anyways, then we have Tyrion, and I just have to note that I love the Tyrion-Shay relationship. It's a lot more fleshed out than it was in the books, and Shay has fierce affection for Tyrion, and I also see it with Sansa, and she seems to be a lot more in depth than in the books. And I feel like in the books, Shay was just a whore, someone in it for the money, the attention, the lavish life. I don't think she had any true affection for Tyrion. I don't even think Tyrion really wanted some affectionate, real relationship with Shay. Here we get something totally different, and it has to be one of my favorite changes. Um, and we also have Cersei, who's great, and her talks with Sansa are amazing. I mean, I was a little annoyed when she would kind of switch up why Sir Ilyn was in the room. She said like 3 different reasons. I don't know. I didn't think that was necessary. But her talks about, how she should have been born a man and how what a woman's role is, and just her just her resentment about being a woman. And I loved that, and I just thought that it just captured Cersei and it was perfect. Um, and then we have Sandor, and I loved how we got so much Sandor time. I was just amazed. Um, and we had this weird Bronn versus Sandor thing, which I didn't mind, except nothing happened out of it. And so they did meet once on the battlefield, and I thought they were going to do some Legolas Gimli thing from the Lord of the Rings movies, but they didn't, and I was like, thank the gods. Um, but the only thing I'm upset about with that scene is that basically Bronn saw Sandor bitch out. That's the nicest way I could put it, and that upset me a little bit because if it came to Sandor versus Bronn, I would be like Sandor all the way. Anyways, we'll get into the battle later. Anyways, Sansa. Sansa is amazing. I'm just enjoying her episodes. I mean, just before, a couple other characters, she was just kind of there for important key information. Now we get to see her being her own person, and I love how a lot of what she says has a more meaning to it than on the surface. Like, when she tells Tyrion, oh, I'll pray for you just like the king, she's basically saying, I hate you, I hate the king, I hope you all burn in hell, I'm not praying for neither of you. And I just thought it was funny because we know how she feels about the king, and if she said that to Tyrion, now we know how she feels about Tyrion, and that's no affectionate feelings at all. And also when she's talking to Joffrey, she's all like, well, my brother's always, in the heat of battle, and, he's a traitor, so obviously you're going to be in the vanguard. And we all know Joffrey isn't going to be in the heat of battle. So I just think it's funny, and we're getting to see her more as her own independent person. And then back to Tyrion, we see him being brilliant with his strategy. In the books, we see a lot more things that he does, but what he does to Davos's fleet just was enough. It was enough to show you how amazing Tyrion was, how much logic and strategy and just brilliance that he has, and that he can put together even for a subject that he knows nothing about. He doesn't know anything about warfare, yet he could pull this off. And basically what he does is take out the entire fleet with the wildfire. He sends one ship out. Joffrey's freaking out. He's like, why do we only have one ship? But that ship is leaking wildfire and going past Davos's fleet. And Davos kind of notices it, kind of turns his ship a little bit out of the way. We don't know if it's enough. And Bronn, he just so happens to be a fantastic archer as well. He lights everything on fire. And this just shows you how brilliant Tyrion is, because wildfire is so dangerous, and he found a way to use it in a contained environment where it wouldn't be a threat to King's Landing. And I think that was enough. They didn't have to show all the other things that Tyrion did, because this was enough to show you how brilliant he was. And then after that, after Davos' fleet is blown up, we see Davos get like tossed out of the ship. We don't know what happens to him. After seeing like the faraway scene where we see the fire just in the air, I don't think anyone could survive that. But anyways, Stannis decides to march anyways. Your fleet just got blew the hell up, and he decides he's gonna go on the shore anyways, and he's just like, let's go. And he's ruthless. And that guy, one of his commanders or whoever, was like, look, we are going to lose hundreds of people. And Stannis is like, no, thousands. Let's go. And it just shows you what kind of a person Stannis was, and I just think that was perfect. So while that's going on, Cersei wants Joffrey to be brought back in. Sandor gets sent out to meet Stannis's troops that come on shore, and what I liked about Sandor was, I think the pyromancer had like a torch, and he like put it past Sandor, and he's like flinched, and like the first flinch I was just like, oh my god, they're going to do this. And we see that Sandor is scared of fire, and when he gets sent out, he is like, look, if any of those flaming arrows come near me, I am going to kill someone. I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill everyone. And so Sandor goes out there, and just everything's on fire. People are on fire, all the flaming arrows are everywhere, and he's just like, no, this isn't going to work. And this is where Bronn sees Sandor basically bitch out, which I was like, oh, no one's supposed to see this. And then he goes by, and he's like, F everybody, whatever. That's when Joffrey, this is before Joffrey goes in, but after that Joffrey leaves. And the only thing is, I understood that Sandor was afraid of the fire. I thought they made it pretty obvious with, him flinching, him yelling at the commander of the archers, and I thought it was pretty obvious, but I watched a review from Larry Williams, and he didn't really understand why Sandor left, so I don't know if they could have made it more obvious for the non-readers, so I don't know. he left, Joffrey left, and now Tyrion is like, holy crap, you know, all these people just saw Sandor, who is a commander of um, one of the attacks, leave, and then they just saw their king leave, and what am I going to do? So he basically leads the land attack, and he decides to go behind them, attack them from behind, and they win that little skirmish, but then other troops come rushing in, and it looks like a whole crap load. So you're left kind of on that little cliffhanger, and Cersei is hearing all this crazy stuff. She's hearing that, you know, they're gonna lose. You know, I think Stannis breached the wall, um, and she is ready to poison her son. I don't know if she's gonna poison herself as well, but she's gonna poison Tommen. And I don't know why she brought Joffrey in. I'm just as confused about that as Larry was. If she wasn't going to poison him as well. Obviously, she brought him in because she cares about him, but whatever. So she plans to poison herself, and then we see Stannis. The tide has kind of turned, and we see his troops running, and Stannis is being like forced away, and it looks like he's being forced to retreat, and he's just standing there like, stand your ground, stand your ground. And when Cersei's about to poison her son, all of a sudden Tywin comes in, and he's with Loras, and it looks like they have all of Highgarden behind them, and you know, now Tywin's probably just unstoppable, and that's how it ends. It saves the day. Now, I saved one scene for last because I just have to rant about it, and that is when Sandor leaves the battle. He actually goes to Sansa's room, and Sansa, she's with the women and Shay, and what I like is when Cersei leaves to go do the poison, she takes over and she's like, look, women, you know, everything's fine, and it just shows Sansa's kind of strength, and she has that strength to kind of use her, I guess since she's used to politics, it's like her um, kind of voice of reason, and take care of the situation using her charisma. And I think that will come into play importantly later, and it shows you what kind of strength Sansa has. She's no Arya, but she definitely knows how to act around highborn lords and ladies and how to take control of certain situations. She's been around politics for a lot, a lot of her life too. So I think that was important. And anyway, Shay asks her to leave, and she's like, look, you know, it's better if you're by yourself. So if Stannis comes in, you have a chance to say, look, I'm Sansa, I'm a prisoner here, because, you know, Stannis wouldn't want to kill Sansa. I definitely think he knows that she's a prisoner, because I think, oh no, never mind. But he knows, you know, Ned was for him, and basically why Ned truly died. So Shay's like, leave, you're going to have a better chance locked up in her room. And when she goes in there, Sandor's there, and this is what pisses me off, because Sandor in the books was there to rape Sansa, and here they made him knight in shining armor, let's run away into the sunset kind of a hero. And this was kind of just so disheartening for me, because I don't know, this scene was so important to my love for Sandor and why I love Sandor, and here they mess it up completely. And he's just like, come on, let's go, and you're left on that cliffhanger like, is Sansa gonna go, is she not gonna go? And that just, it really, really pissed me off, because this show has been dodging the dark side of the human race for a long, long time. They justify everyone. They did it with Jaime, why he killed the king, and when he was talking to Ned in one scene. They did it with Sir Alliser because he went through hard times behind the wall. They did it with Cersei. She didn't kill Robb's bastards. Robert's bastards. It was Joffrey, even though it was Cersei. They did it with Arya, who in her escape from Harrenhal, she walked away with no blood on her hands when she really had to fight and kill people in that scene. And now they did it with Sandor. And he was there to rape Sansa, which just shows you, the dark side of the human condition. And that was just like the straw that broke the camel's back. I honestly was having fun. I was enjoying the episode, and then that happened, and I don't know. I just was like, this is too much. They've justified every damn character for every action that they were supposed to do in the negative, and they turn it either positive. They use Joffrey as the scapegoat evil guy. They don't show everyone's dark side. They kind of make everyone more happy-go-lucky than they're supposed to be. And now they did it with Sandor, who's not a good guy. And that scene with Sansa where he was going to rape her, but he actually runs away crying when she sings to him, that is the scene where it shows you how complex Sandor is and his breakaway from he's evil, basically. He's like, there's black, there's white, there's gray. Sandor is like on the like darkest shade of gray that you can get, and this is kind of like his breakaway from that, and they didn't show that, and it really pisses me off because Sandor is never nice to Sansa. He defends her in his own way, he talks to her in his own way, and it's never nice. He's still a bad, gruff guy, and even though he has affection for her, and the reason he goes to rape her is to disprove his affection for her, at least in my theory, they messed it up, and I'm so upset because this is not how it's supposed to happen. And usually I don't mind changes, but they've been justifying so many characters and taking away their darker aspects for so long that this one I was just like, no, Sandor is not good. Sandor just, no. I was watched, I can't even. Whew, I can't. And so yeah, I that happened, and I was watching the episode. Yeah, I wasn't watching it at the same time. I was just like, okay. So I'm like half tempted to not even continue watching the show. I think, we have one more episode. I guess I'll watch it. I guess I'll review it. But I was like, so far nothing made me hate the show. I was actually enjoying the show, and it bothers me that this is actually what's turning me off from the show, is them withholding dark aspects from a lot of the characters. And because that's one of my favorite things from the book, is that these characters, they're neither good or bad, and they each have to do certain things, sometimes either out of survival, out of hatred, anger, love. Sometimes they do bad things, and sometimes it's not all rainbows and ponies, and they're making some of these characters just too white for me, and it kind of ruins the experience, because I really liked how George R. R. Martin's dark fantasy, it's not rainbows and dragons that like to speak to you and play catch. So I am really upset about that. I really was hoping that it wouldn't be something that they changed to this degree that would turn me off from the show, because I really don't want to be one of those people where like, oh, you have to stick by the book. I mean, I guess they didn't have to stick by the book, but they just changed Sandor too much, and they've been doing this to too many characters that I'm just like, I don't know. I really don't know what I should feel right now. So yeah, that's just my little rant. I told you guys it was coming, so it just happened. And anyways, the episode really truly leaves off not with the Sandor scene, but with Tywin coming in and saving the day. And so I know what the next episode's going to end with. I think all book readers know. And so I really, really do want to see that. I am a little upset right now and disappointed with this episode because of that one scene. Other than that, it really was enjoyable and fun to sit back and watch. Because it wasn't so much intrigue, it was more action, and it was a nice breakaway from sitting there and listening to every single clue so you would know what would happen in the future. So that's that. I guess my question for you guys would be, what was the most disappointing scene in a Game of Thrones for you? Book reader, non-book reader, I'm sure you could figure out the answer to this question. You know mine. Last week it was Arya as escape, and now it's Sandor, because again they're taking these characters and they're stripping the dark aspects from them because they want them to appear good, or 100% nice, or just, I don't know. They're taking away the dark aspect of man in a lot of these characters, and I'm just like, I can't handle that very much longer. So thank you for your time. Bye.